stories from the edge of innovation. In a dimly lit lab in China, a mouse embryo floats in a glass container. No womb, no mother, just artificial fluids and science. This isn't a movie. It's real. And it's just one of many jaw-dropping experiments happening right now. From growing brains in dishes to cloning extinct animals, these aren't predictions. They've already happened. Here are 10 real experiments that sound like science fiction but are absolutely true. Fact 1. Growing human embryos in artificial wombs. Scientists in China and Israel have successfully grown mouse embryos inside fully artificial wombs, glass containers filled with nutrient-rich fluids. This breakthrough opens the door to human embryo development without a human body. Researchers believe it could revolutionize premature birth survival rates and even lead to future external gestation. Ethics boards are watching closely, but science is already one step ahead. Recent developments suggest this technology could one day eliminate the need for traditional pregnancy. Artificial wombs may soon offer solutions for infertility and high-risk pregnancies. Fact 2. AI judges in real courtrooms. In China and Estonia, artificial intelligence systems are being used to analyze legal cases, deliver rulings, and even sentence defendants. They evaluate evidence, apply legal codes, and generate verdicts faster than human judges. These systems have already processed millions of minor cases with a high accuracy rate. Critics worry about transparency, but governments are pushing forward. In some regions, AI judges now handle traffic violations and small claims almost entirely autonomously. Some experts believe AI could assist in reducing judicial bias, if trained ethically. Fact 3. Head transplants on animals. Surgeons have successfully transplanted the heads of rats and monkeys onto other bodies, keeping them alive for minutes to hours. The controversial neuroscientist Sergio Canavero once claimed he would perform the first human head transplant and even conducted spinal cord fusion tests in animals. Although no human trials have taken place, the science is progressing faster than expected. Imagine waking up in a completely different body. This might be how. New research is focusing on neural reconnection to make long-term survival possible. These experiments raise both ethical alarms and radical hopes for future medicine. Fact 4. Brain-to-brain communication. Neuroscientists have enabled communication between two human brains using brainwave reading headsets and digital relays. In one experiment, a person thought of moving their hand, and another person's hand moved. This tech bypasses speech entirely, transmitting ideas from one brain to another in real time. We're not just talking telepathy. We're building it. Further tests involve remote cooperation between participants across continents. The future of silent, mind-to-mind communication may arrive sooner than expected. Fact 5. Reversing death in cells. Scientists at Yale University managed to revive cells in pig organs hours after death using a system called OrganX. The technique restored circulation and cellular function, challenging the definition of death itself. This could lead to new methods of organ preservation and even emergency trauma care. Is permanent death about to be optional? Some scientists believe it may extend the viable window for organ transplants. Others envision future protocols that might revive patients after cardiac arrest or stroke. Fact 6. Lab-grown mini-brains that think. In labs around the world, scientists are growing cerebral organoids, tiny versions of human brains made from stem cells. Some have developed electrical activity similar to that of a newborn baby. These mini-brains are used to study diseases like Alzheimer's, but they're also raising massive ethical questions. If a brain thinks even a little, does it feel? Some researchers now report that these organoids can respond to light or external stimuli. The more complex they become, the more urgent the debate around consciousness grows. Fact 7. Memory transfer between animals. At UCLA, researchers transferred a memory from one sea slug to another using RNA. The recipient slug reacted as if it had lived the experience itself. This points to the possibility that memories aren't just stored in brain structures, but in molecules. Could we one day upload skills or memories matrix style? New trials aim to replicate memory encoding in mammals. This may open the door to future memory recovery or even experience sharing. Fact 8. Cloning extinct animals. Woolly Mammoth Project. Colossal Biosciences is using CRISPR gene editing to bring back the woolly mammoth by inserting its DNA into the genome of an Asian elephant. Their goal? Revive the species and reintroduce it into Arctic ecosystems to fight climate change. The first mammoth hybrid could be born within a few years. Bringing back extinct animals isn't sci-fi, it's happening. The project has already yielded embryos with over 50% mammoth DNA. Scientists hope these hybrids will help restore lost ecosystems in Siberia. Fact 9. Creating synthetic life. In 2010, scientists at the J. Craig Venter Institute created the first synthetic organism, a bacterial cell with a completely artificial genome. They named it Cynthia. This cell could reproduce, evolve, and even pass on its artificial DNA. It's the first living creature, built entirely by humans. Researchers are now engineering bacteria for custom purposes, like eating oil spills or producing clean energy. This is the beginning of programmable life. Fact 10. Human-animal hybrids, chimeras. In controversial experiments, scientists have created embryos containing both human and animal DNA. Human-monkey chimeras, for example, have survived up to 20 days in lab settings. The goal is to grow human organs inside animals for transplant. But critics argue we're blurring the lines of what it means to be human. Other chimeras have been created using pigs and sheep, aiming for future organ harvesting. This area is one of the most ethically charged frontiers in biotechnology. From head transplants to thinking mini-brains, these real-life experiments feel like science fiction, because they're rewriting what's possible. Which experiment shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more mind-blowing science. Every 5 seconds, someone dies from breathing polluted air. Every day you breathe in more than 11,000 liters of air. But what's in that air might surprise you. In 2025, air pollution has become one of the leading causes of death worldwide. Worse than smoking, worse than car crashes, and worse than most diseases we fear. But pollution doesn't always come in thick clouds or dark smog. Sometimes it's microscopic, sometimes it's odorless, and sometimes you never know it's harming you until it's too late. Pollution is changing our planet, our bodies, and our future. And it's happening right now. Fact 1. 7 million deaths every year. Every single year, air pollution is responsible for around 7 million premature deaths. That's more than car crashes, wars, and murders combined. Most of these are from fine particulate matter. Tiny particles so small they slip past your body's defenses and lodge in your lungs, heart, and brain. They're invisible, but deadly. The WHO has called air pollution the single biggest environmental health risk in the world. Even short-term exposure can trigger asthma attacks, respiratory infections, and cardiovascular problems. And over time, these effects accumulate silently. In cities with poor air quality, people often live shorter lives without realizing the cause. It's not just a slow killer, it's a silent one. Fact 2. The most polluted countries. In 2025, countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and parts of China top the list for worst air quality. Cities like Delhi often have air quality index, AQI, scores 10 times above the safe limit. People in these regions are breathing the equivalent of smoking several cigarettes a day without touching a single pack. Children are growing up with damaged lungs before they even turn 10. In places like Lahore and Dhaka, visibility drops to just a few meters on bad days. Entire cities grind to a halt, not from protests or pandemics, but from poison in the air. Schools close, flights are grounded, and businesses suffer when pollution spikes. Fact 3. How air pollution affects your body. You already know it damages lungs, but that's just the beginning. Pollution is linked to heart disease, strokes, diabetes, infertility, and even mental disorders like anxiety and depression. Recent studies show that breathing polluted air can shrink your brain, lower IQ, and worsen conditions like Alzheimer's. Pollution can even affect hormone levels and increase the risk of autoimmune diseases. It doesn't just make you sick, it changes who you are at the cellular level. The damage can begin in childhood and silently shape health for decades. Fact 4. Pollution and cancer. One of the deadliest effects? Cancer. Pollution is now a leading cause of lung cancer, especially in non-smokers. But researchers have also linked it to bladder, breast, and skin cancers due to the long-term impact of toxic particles and heavy metals in the air. Children exposed early have a higher lifetime risk, and in polluted areas, cancer rates continue to rise. The scariest part? You can't see it, smell it, or escape it. Even in seemingly clean areas, cancer-causing pollutants can linger invisibly for years. Fact 5. Animals are suffering too. It's not just humans. Birds are dying in polluted cities. Fish are choking on microplastics. Even bees, essential to our food system, are becoming disoriented by airborne toxins. In highly polluted zones, animals are developing mutations, respiratory illnesses, and mass die-offs. Entire ecosystems are collapsing, silently. Pollution disrupts food chains and reproductive cycles. When nature can't breathe, the planet begins to fall apart. And when animals disappear, it signals a deeper imbalance in our environment. Fact 6. Pollution from transportation. Cars, trucks, ships, and planes are major culprits. The transportation sector contributes over 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions. With more people driving and flying than ever before, the problem is accelerating. Some cities have introduced electric buses or banned diesel cars, but it's not enough. Just 15 of the largest cargo ships produce more sulfur pollution than every car on the planet combined. And many vehicles still run on dirty fuel without filters in developing countries. Mass transit upgrades and cleaner fuel alternatives are still far behind global demand. Fact 7. Industrial accidents. Some of the world's worst pollution disasters came from single events. Think Chernobyl in 1986, a nuclear disaster that released radiation across Europe. Or Bhopal in 1984, when a pesticide plant leak killed thousands in India. In 2020, Beirut's port explosion released massive toxic clouds. These incidents show how fragile safety systems are and how quickly pollution can become catastrophic. Entire communities are still suffering decades later. The price of negligence is measured in lives and generations. And in many regions, safety regulations are still weak or unenforced. Fact 8. Air pollution and climate change. Air pollution isn't just a health issue, it's a climate issue. Black carbon, methane, and ozone trap heat and accelerate global warming. These pollutants make heat waves deadlier, wildfires more intense, and droughts more frequent. It's a vicious cycle. Pollution worsens climate change, and climate change increases pollution sources like fires. Cleaner air means a cooler planet. Fighting pollution is fighting the climate crisis. Climate solutions and pollution solutions often go hand in hand, but time is running out. Fact 9. Indoor air pollution. Surprise! The air inside your home might be worse than outside. Indoor pollution from cooking, cleaning agents, mold, and even candles can trigger asthma and chronic respiratory problems. In developing countries, millions rely on wood or coal stoves in poorly ventilated homes, leading to 3.2 million deaths each year from indoor exposure alone. Even air fresheners and furniture release dangerous chemicals. Clean air starts at home, but most people don't even know they're at risk. And in winter, indoor air gets trapped, amplifying the danger. Fact 10. Hope through innovation. It's not all doom. Countries are now using AI to manage traffic flow, smart sensors to detect leaks, and green walls to absorb pollution. Cities like Oslo and Seoul are investing in car-free zones and clean energy. Technologies like air-purifying towers, electric transport, and renewable power give us a chance to fight back. But we need action, fast. Public awareness is growing, and with it, pressure on leaders to act. Cleaner air is possible, but it starts with knowledge, and it needs global effort. Startups and scientists are racing to create sustainable solutions before the damage becomes irreversible. Air pollution is the invisible enemy we breathe every day. It kills silently, shortens lives, and destroys ecosystems. But now that we know the truth, the question is, will we act? Which fact shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more truth-powered science. Only on Curiosity AI. Doctors once stitched a second dog's head onto another living dog, and both heads survived. Sounds like science fiction? It actually happened. Medicine has come a long way, but in its early days, and sometimes even recently, curiosity pushed scientists into ethically gray, shocking, and downright bizarre territory. From the name of science, they did things you won't believe. Here are 10 of the weirdest medical experiments in human history, some that saved lives and others that crossed every imaginable line. Fact 1. The dog head transplant, Soviet Union, 1950s. In the 1950s, Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikov performed a series of bizarre surgeries. He transplanted the head and upper body of a small dog onto the neck of a larger dog. The result? A two-headed dog. Both heads were conscious, moved independently, and reacted to stimuli. Demikov performed dozens of these experiments, some of which survived for days. While grotesque, these surgeries were early explorations into organ transplantation. Modern heart and lung transplants owe something to Demikov's macabre methods, but the ethics remain deeply controversial. His work inspired later researchers, including American neurosurgeon Robert White, who transplanted a monkey's head in the 1970s. Fact 2. The Monster Study, Iowa, 1939. In an attempt to understand stuttering, researchers at the University of Iowa conducted an experiment on 22 orphans. Some children were given positive reinforcement for speech. Others, who didn't stutter, were told they had speech problems and were criticized regularly. The result? Some developed lifelong psychological trauma and speech issues. It became known as the Monster Study because of its cruel nature. Though never published at the time, it sparked heated ethical debates in later decades. Modern speech therapy distances itself from such manipulative methods. Fact 3. Tuskegee Syphilis Study, USA, 1932-1972. For 40 years, African-American men in Tuskegee, Alabama, were enrolled in a study on untreated syphilis. Researchers did not tell them they had syphilis, nor did they offer treatment, even after penicillin became the standard cure. Instead, doctors monitored the progression of the disease until the men died. The scandal broke in the 1970s, sparking public outrage and reforming U.S. medical ethics. It led to stricter laws on informed consent and established the Office for Human Research Protections. But the damage was irreversible, and trust in the medical system among Black Americans remains affected to this day. Fact 4. Aversion therapy for homosexuality. Various countries, 20th century. Until the late 20th century, being gay was considered a mental illness in many parts of the world. In response, doctors experimented with curing homosexuality using electric shocks, chemical injections, and nausea-inducing drugs. In some cases, patients were forced to watch same-sex images while being made violently ill. In South Africa, military conscripts were subjected to these experiments. Some were even subjected to chemical castration. These brutal methods left lasting physical and emotional scars. Thankfully, such practices are now widely condemned, and LGBTQ+ conversion therapies have been banned in many countries. Fact 5. Joseph Mengele's twin experiments, Nazi Germany, 1940s. Perhaps the most infamous medical experiments were carried out by Nazi doctor Josef Mengele at Auschwitz. He was obsessed with twins and used them for experiments without anesthesia, injecting dyes into their eyes, amputating limbs, and infecting one twin to compare outcomes with the other. Many of the twins died. Others lived but were permanently scarred. His goal? To uncover secrets of genetics and reproduction for Nazi eugenics. The Nuremberg trials later exposed these atrocities and helped create the Nuremberg Code, a foundation for modern medical ethics. Fact 6. The Stanford Prison Experiment, USA, 1971. Not strictly medical, but undeniably psychological. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo created a mock prison with volunteers assigned roles of guards or inmates. Within days, the guards became abusive, and the prisoners showed signs of extreme stress. The study had to be shut down after just 6 days. It revealed how quickly ordinary people could conform to oppressive roles, given the right conditions. Though often criticized for its lack of controls, the experiment has shaped how we understand power, authority, and institutional abuse. Fact 7. MK Ultra Mind Control Experiments, USA, 1950s, 60s. The CIA's MK Ultra program aimed to explore mind control using drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation. Subjects were often drugged with LSD without consent, locked in isolation, or subjected to psychological torture. Some participants went mad, others died. The CIA destroyed many documents, and the truth only came out in the 1970s through investigations. To this day, MKUltra remains one of the most disturbing examples of government-sanctioned experimentation on its own citizens. It also helped fuel decades of conspiracy theories. Fact 8. The 17th century blood transfusion experiments. In the 1600s, European scientists tried to transfuse animal blood into humans. French physician Jean-Baptiste Denis transfused sheep's blood into humans, believing it could transfer calmness. One patient died, another went into severe shock, leading to Denis being put on trial. These experiments were based on weak science and mystical beliefs. However, they laid the groundwork for understanding incompatibility in blood types, which eventually led to safe transfusions in the 20th century. Fact 9. Isolation of the Forbidden Experiment, France, 1800s. What happens to a human who grows up without language? In 1800, a boy called Victor was found in the French wilderness. He had lived in isolation for most of his life and couldn't speak. Physicians saw this as a chance to study natural human development. One doctor, Jean-Marc Itard, tried to teach him language and empathy. Victor never fully learned to speak but developed emotional connections. This case inspired debates about nature versus nurture and whether language is innate or learned. It also raised ethical concerns about using children as research subjects without consent. Fact 10. Lobotomies, USA and Europe, 1940s-50s. Lobotomy was seen as a miracle cure for mental illness. Doctors inserted sharp tools through the eye socket to destroy parts of the brain's frontal lobe. Invented by Antonio Egas Moniz and popularized by Dr. Walter Freeman in the U.S., over 40,000 people were lobotomized. The results were tragic. Patients lost emotions, memories, or basic functioning. One of Freeman's most infamous cases was Rosemary Kennedy, sister of U.S. President John F. Kennedy, who was left mentally incapacitated for life. The procedure was eventually discredited and replaced by psychiatric medications. Science should always push boundaries, but when it forgets ethics, the consequences can be devastating. These experiments serve as a reminder that progress shouldn't come at the cost of humanity. Which of these shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And follow Curiosity AI for more unbelievable true stories from history, science, and beyond. A train that floats above the tracks at 600 km/h. A drone that flies you to work without a pilot. And classrooms where AI tracks your brainwaves. Sounds like science fiction? It's not. This is happening right now in China. Fact 1. Magnetic levitation trains, maglev. China's maglev train isn't powered by wheels, but by magnets. Using magnetic repulsion, it floats above the tracks, eliminating friction entirely. The result? A train that can hit 600 km/h faster than a commercial airplane. And it's not just a prototype. Test runs began in Qingdao and full commercial service is coming soon. China's maglev project represents a leap in high-speed transport that the rest of the world is still dreaming about. It's a bold step toward ultra-efficient, emission-free travel. If successful, it could reshape how countries approach rail infrastructure. and China plans to expand this tech into multiple urban and intercity lines within the decade. Fact 2. AI in schools. In Chinese classrooms, artificial intelligence is part of daily education. Students wear headbands that measure brainwave activity, tracking focus and attention in real time. Teachers receive reports, parents get updates, and students are graded by algorithms. It sounds like dystopia, but it's already happening. AI is also used to identify cheating, evaluate essays, and suggest custom learning paths. In China, education isn't just digital, it's intelligent. Some schools even use facial recognition to take attendance. Critics warn of over-surveillance, but supporters praise the system's efficiency. And as these systems evolve, they're being tested for emotional analysis and stress detection too. Fact 3. Robot police dogs. Move over. Boston Dynamics. China's robot dogs are patrolling real streets. Equipped with facial recognition, 5G connectivity, and high-res cameras, these bots are used in border patrols, city security, and disaster zones. Some models are armed with speakers and even non-lethal weapons. They don't need rest. They don't get distracted. And yes, they're already in action. Chinese media has showcased them assisting during COVID lockdowns. They're also being tested in high-risk zones where sending humans would be dangerous. And next-gen versions are now being equipped with drone launching capabilities. Fact 4. Flying taxis by Ehang. You've seen drones. Now imagine sitting in one. Ehang, a Chinese company, has developed the EH216, an autonomous aerial vehicle that flies passengers like an airborne Uber. No pilot, just enter your destination and lift off. The aircraft has completed thousands of test flights and is now approved for operation in several cities. China may be the first country to normalize flying taxis, sci-fi style. Ehang's aircraft run on electric power and are designed for short urban hops. They aim to cut both travel time and urban congestion. In 2024, Ehang received the world's first airworthiness certification for autonomous passenger drones. Fact 5. AI judges in virtual courtrooms. In parts of China, you can be tried, sentenced, and fined by a robot. AI systems are being used in digital courtrooms to evaluate evidence, cross-check legal codes, and issue rulings. The goal? Speed and accuracy. One such system handled 3 million legal cases in a single year. It's not a replacement for human judges, yet, but in China's legal system, AI is already wearing the robe. These AI systems can also suggest plea deals and legal paths in real time. Efficiency is key, but it raises serious ethical questions globally. Developers claim the system is now accurate to over 97% in civil dispute classifications. Fact 6. Facial recognition payment. Forget wallets and smartphones. In China, your face is your credit card. At supermarkets, train stations, and fast food chains, cameras scan your face to authorize payments in under a second. The system ties into apps like Alipay and WeChat Pay, verifying identity through biometric data. Privacy concerns aside, this tech is smooth, fast, and shockingly common. In some cities, facial payment is more common than card or cash. It's convenience at a cost, one that many are willing to accept. And recent updates even allow payment with just a glance at vending machines or kiosks. Fact 7. Smart cities with AI traffic control. Chinese cities like Hangzhou have integrated AI traffic control systems that reduce congestion in real time. The system collects data from cameras, GPS units, traffic lights, and even weather sensors to manage traffic flow. The result? Commutes reduced by 15% or more in some districts. These smart cities don't just monitor, they respond. AI predicts jams and redirects vehicles before a slowdown occurs. Urban planning in China is increasingly data-driven, and this model is now being exported to smart city projects in Southeast Asia. Fact 8. Social credit system, tech-driven governance. This one's controversial but undeniably futuristic. China's social credit system uses tech to track citizen behavior, everything from paying bills to online comments. Based on the data, individuals can be rewarded or penalized. It's implemented differently across regions, but the digital infrastructure behind it is massive. And while the West debates ethics, China is already testing tech-powered governance. Penalties can include travel bans or access restrictions. Supporters say it builds trust. Critics call it surveillance at scale. And recent pilot projects link the system to smart city data. They're indistinguishable from real reporters. China isn't waiting for AI to replace jobs. It's already hiring. Viewers often can't tell the difference. This blend of tech and media could become a global trend. New versions are now multilingual and able to deliver region-specific news autonomously. From floating trains to flying taxis, China isn't just building tech, it's redefining the future. Which of these technologies shocked you the most? Drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe for more wild stories from around the world. Only on Curiosity AI. They found a human skeleton so old, it was fused to the cave wall, not buried, not placed, fossilized inside solid rock for over 170,000 years, and scientists managed to extract its DNA. What else is hiding beneath the surface of these ancient caves? From extinct megafauna to mysterious symbols, caves are like time capsules, sealing away lost civilizations, forgotten species, and artifacts no one can explain. These aren't stories from ancient scrolls. They're real discoveries, made by real scientists, many of them in the last few decades. Let's explore 10 strange and unbelievable things that have been found in caves around the world. Fact 1. 26,000-year-old red fox skeleton, Utah, USA. Inside a remote cave in Utah, scientists uncovered something no one expected. A fully intact red fox skeleton, preserved for over 26,000 years. Still curled up as if sleeping, this Ice Age animal was sealed away in a hidden chamber. Its condition was so pristine that researchers could reconstruct not just the skeleton, but even aspects of its fur and muscles. It's one of the best preserved Ice Age carnivores ever found in North America. This tiny fox became a window into an ancient world, revealing what kind of predators and prey existed in the cold wilderness of the past. Fact 2. 4,000-year-old copper dagger, Italy. In a cave near Trieste, archaeologists found a copper dagger dating back over 4,000 years. It was buried alongside bone tools and ancient ceramics. What shocked researchers was the dagger's composition. Nearly pure copper, far more refined than expected for the time and region. It hints at advanced Bronze Age metallurgy and possibly even trade networks that stretched across Europe. The dagger may have been ceremonial, a prized object stored in a sacred cave, away from conflict or decay. Its discovery proves that even in ancient times, caves served not just as shelters, but as places of reverence. Fact 3. Cave pearls with artifacts, Israel. Israeli archaeologists exploring an ancient water tunnel stumbled upon a strange formation, natural cave pearls. These smooth mineral balls, which typically take centuries to form, contained human-made artifacts, bits of ceramic and painted plaster from the Hellenistic and Byzantine eras. One of the pearls had layers wrapped tightly around a tiny piece of painted tile, like nature itself had preserved an ancient mystery. The discovery raises questions about whether these pearls formed around dropped items, or whether ancient people intentionally placed them there. It's a fusion of human and geological history, frozen together in time. Fact 4. Funeral weapons cache, Gabon, Africa. Hidden in the tropical forests of Gabon, the Irungu Cave held a funeral site that defied everything we thought we knew. Dozens of elite individuals were buried alongside over 500 iron, copper, and brass weapons, many of them ornate, unused, and advanced for their time. The people who left them behind left no written records, but their craftsmanship suggests a rich, organized society, with deep rituals and a culture of power. Some believe the site was reserved only for the highest-ranking members of their civilization. These burials hint at a powerful class of warriors or leaders who took their status into the afterlife. Fact 5. Dream Cave's Woolly Rhinoceros, England. Back in 1822, in a place now known as Dream Cave, miners unearthed the nearly complete skeleton of a woolly rhinoceros. The animal likely fell in during a cave collapse and was perfectly preserved by sediment layers, creating a natural fossil vault. Its massive bones revealed a beast that once walked through cold glacial plains, now extinct for thousands of years. It's one of the earliest fossil finds that proved massive Ice Age creatures once roamed across what's now Britain. The skeleton is now displayed in museums, a haunting symbol of an ancient world. Fact 6, Spirit Cave Mummy, Nevada, USA. In 1940, archaeologists working in a Nevada cave discovered a mummy wrapped in reed mats, later dated to over 9,400 years ago. It became the oldest naturally preserved mummy ever found in North America. But that wasn't the end of the story. In the 1990s, DNA testing revealed that the mummy came from a group distinct from modern Native American tribes. This discovery sparked decades of legal and ethical debate. It forced scientists to rethink how early humans migrated across the Americas and who their descendants might truly be. Fact 7. The Altamura Man, Italy. In 1993, cave explorers in southern Italy stumbled upon a haunting discovery: a full Neanderthal skeleton, fossilized inside the cave wall itself. Known as the Altamura Man, this individual had been undisturbed for more than 170,000 years. Bones, skull, torso, all still intact and partially fused to the calcite stone. It became one of the most complete Neanderthal skeletons ever found, and scientists were even able to extract ancient DNA. Researchers now use the Altamura Man to study Neanderthal genetics, bone structure, and even diet. It's a discovery that continues to reshape what we know about our extinct human cousins. Fact 8. Jade Offerings and Sacrifices, Belize. Deep inside the Aktun Tunichil Muknal cave system, archaeologists found remains of ancient Maya human sacrifices lying undisturbed for centuries. Scattered among the skeletons were ritual objects: jade jewelry, clay pots, obsidian blades. One young girl's body had become so encrusted in calcite that she's known as the Crystal Maiden. The cave was likely considered an entrance to the underworld, a sacred place where only the most serious offerings were made. The entire site is still used in modern Maya traditions, blending ancient history with present-day spirituality. Fact 9. Atapuerca Cave System, Spain. In northern Spain, the Atapuerca Cave Network has revealed one of the richest fossil records of early human history. Remains dating back 1.2 million years have been uncovered, including stone tools, hearths, and even bones with signs of early cannibalism. Some skeletons show evidence of deliberate processing, suggesting ritual cannibalism or survival strategies. The site proves that Europe was occupied by ancient hominids far earlier than previously believed. Each layer of soil acts as a timeline, showing how early humans evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. Fact 10. Giant megaliths in remote Russian cave, Mount Shoria. In the remote mountains of Siberia, explorers discovered massive stone blocks buried inside a cave system. Some of these megaliths are over 20 feet tall and weigh hundreds of tons. They appear to be cut with straight lines and stacked, as if placed by design. No known ancient civilization in the area had the tools to create them. Geologists argue it may be a rare natural formation caused by tectonic forces and erosion. But alternative theorists believe the stones could be remnants of a long-lost civilization, one capable of shaping stone on a monumental scale. Caves aren't just cold, dark places. They're ancient vaults, preserving the deepest secrets of our past. From lost civilizations to extinct animals, some of the most important clues to human history are buried underground. Which of these cave discoveries blew your mind? Let us know in the comments, and follow Curiosity AI for more incredible stories about the world's strangest secrets. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, how much do we actually know about space? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into 10 mind-blowing space facts that sound completely unbelievable, but are 100% real. From bizarre planets to invisible forces shaping our universe, these facts will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Stick around till the end because fact number 10 might just change the way you see reality itself. Let's jump right in. 1. There's a planet made entirely of diamonds. Yes, you heard that right. Meet 55 Cancri E, also nicknamed the Diamond Planet. It's located about 40 light-years away in the constellation Cancer. This planet is twice the size of Earth, but here's the kicker. Thanks to its carbon-rich composition and extreme pressure, scientists believe its interior is literally made of crystallized diamond. Imagine an entire planet shimmering with more wealth than all of Earth's economies combined. But before you start planning an interstellar heist, temperatures on its surface reach a blistering 4,000 degrees, 2,200 degrees. Definitely not a friendly getaway. Question for you. If you had access to endless diamonds, what would you actually do with them? 2. Space smells like burnt steak. Believe it or not, astronauts returning from spacewalks often report that their suits and equipment smell oddly familiar. The scent? A mix of burnt steak, hot metal, and welding fumes. This is due to polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, complex molecules created when stars die. They're floating everywhere in space, leaving this charred, smoky aroma behind. It's weird to think space has a smell, especially when you consider it's a vacuum. But the particles cling to surfaces, giving astronauts a cosmic BBQ experience. 3. One day on Venus is longer than its year. Here's something that'll mess with your sense of time. Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate once on its axis, but it only takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun. That means a single day on Venus lasts longer than an entire Venusian year. Even stranger? Venus rotates backwards compared to most other planets, so if you stood on its surface, you couldn't really survive, but hypothetically, the Sun would rise in the west and set in the east. 4. There's a giant cloud of alcohol in space. Ready for happy hour? Scientists have discovered a massive cloud of ethyl alcohol floating in space, near the Sagittarius B2 region, close to the center of our galaxy. How big is it? Enough alcohol to fill 400 trillion pints of beer. Unfortunately, it's spread across a massive area and mixed with toxic gases, so bottling it up isn't exactly practical. But still, somewhere out there is the universe's largest cosmic brewery. 5. Neutron stars are ridiculously dense. Imagine taking a star more massive than the Sun and compressing it into the size of a city. That's exactly what a neutron star is. To put it in perspective, one sugar cube-sized piece of a neutron star would weigh about 1 billion tons on Earth. It's so dense that atoms are crushed, and matter exists in an exotic state we can barely comprehend. If you dropped something on a neutron star, gravity would pull it down at a third of the speed of light. Isn't it insane to think that something so small can hold so much mass? 6. There's a cold spot in the universe scientists can't explain. The cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang, is surprisingly uniform throughout space. But scientists have detected a mysterious cold spot, an area 1.8 billion light-years across that's significantly colder than its surroundings. Some theories suggest it's due to a supervoid, but others speculate something far stranger. Maybe even evidence of a parallel universe collision. What do you think? Could we be seeing signs of another universe brushing against ours? 7. Rogue planets roam the galaxy without a star. Not all planets have a sun to call home. Meet rogue planets. Planets drifting alone through the galaxy, unattached to any star. Some estimates suggest there could be billions of these lonely wanderers in the Milky Way alone. With no sunlight, they're cold, dark, and invisible unless detected by their gravitational pull. Essentially, they're the nomads of space, silently gliding through the void. 8. Space-time can be bent and twisted. Thanks to Einstein's theory of general relativity, we now know that massive objects like planets, stars, and black holes can bend space-time itself. This bending causes gravitational lensing, where light from distant galaxies gets warped around massive objects. Sometimes entire galaxies appear duplicated or stretched because of this effect, like nature's own funhouse mirror in space. It's a mind-bending reminder that space isn't a static backdrop. It's flexible like a cosmic fabric. 9. There's a planet where it rains glass sideways. Say hello to HD 1899733b. a blue exoplanet located 63 light-years away. At first glance, it looks serene with its deep blue color. But don't be fooled. This planet experiences winds up to 5,400 mph, 8,700 km/h, and rains molten glass horizontally due to its violent weather systems. Forget umbrellas, you wouldn't survive a second here. 10. The observable universe is just 5% of what exists. Here's the big one. Everything we can see, all the stars, planets, galaxies, accounts for only 5% of the total universe. The rest is made up of mysterious dark matter, 27%, and even more baffling dark energy, 68%. We can't see, touch, or directly detect them, but they're holding the cosmos together and driving its expansion faster and faster. It's humbling to realize that 95% of the universe is invisible, unexplained, and completely beyond our understanding. At least for now. So, next time you look up at the night sky, remember, space isn't just vast. It's full of incredible mind-bending secrets we're only starting to uncover. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Drop your answer in the comments. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button for more brain-twisting facts every week. Because when it comes to the universe, the truth is often stranger than fiction. 10 cool facts that will change how you see the world. The world around us seems familiar, but once you take a closer look, it turns out to be full of mind-bending surprises. From the microscopic to the cosmic, these facts will completely change how you see reality. Here are 10 cool facts that will shift your perspective and maybe even blow your mind. Fact 1, you're made of stardust. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a dying star. That's right, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, all born in cosmic explosions billions of years ago. You're literally a walking piece of the universe, recycled and reassembled over time. It's not poetry, it's physics. And when you think about it, the atoms in your body might have once been part of a distant planet, a dinosaur, or even another human being. Fact 2, you can't see most of the universe. In fact, 95% of it is invisible. What we call visible matter, and everything from stars to people to planets, only makes up 5% of the known universe. The rest? It's dark matter and dark energy, completely undetectable by traditional instruments. So, most of existence is a mystery. Imagine living in a reality where the vast majority is hidden. It's like reading one page from a 1,000-page book and thinking you know the full story. Fact 3, bananas are berries, strawberries aren't. Botanically speaking, a berry must come from a single flower with one ovary and have multiple seeds embedded in the flesh. By that definition, bananas qualify, strawberries don't. Tomatoes? Also berries. It's a wild world when you dig into botany. Next time you make a fruit salad, remember, it's technically full of imposters. Fact 4, there are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. Our galaxy has around 100 to 400 billion stars. Earth? Over 3 trillion trees. That's right. We live on a planet more densely packed with life than we often realize. Forests aren't just pretty, they're mathematically mind-blowing. And yet, deforestation is wiping out around 15 billion trees every year. A reminder that abundance doesn't mean invincibility. Fact 5. There's a species of jellyfish that can technically live forever. The Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish can revert its cells back to an earlier stage of life, essentially resetting its aging process. It's one of the few known organisms capable of biological immortality. Scientists are studying it in hopes of unlocking clues to regenerative medicine. It doesn't die of old age, it just keeps rebooting. If that doesn't make you question the limits of life, what will? Fact 6. If you could fold a piece of paper 42 times, it would reach the moon. This isn't a joke, it's exponential growth in action. Each fold doubles the thickness, and by the 42nd fold, it's over 400,000 kilometers tall. It's the kind of math that sounds absurd but checks out on paper. It also shows how quickly things can escalate when you keep doubling. This is the same principle that powers viral growth online, compound interest in finance, and even population booms. Fact 7. Time moves slower at the top of a building. Thanks to Einstein's theory of general relativity, gravity affects time. The closer you are to a massive object like Earth, the slower time ticks. So if you live in a skyscraper, you're literally aging faster than someone on the ground floor by billionths of a second. Astronauts in orbit age a tiny bit faster than people on Earth. Time isn't fixed, it bends. And your everyday location determines how quickly you experience life itself. Fact 8. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. It's called cloacal respiration, and it allows certain turtle species to extract oxygen from water through their rear ends. This adaptation is especially useful during long underwater hibernations. It might sound funny, but it's a genius survival tool in the animal kingdom. In fact, nature is filled with bizarre mechanisms that sound like sci-fi but are entirely real. Fact 9. The Eiffel Tower grows in the summer. Metal expands when heated, so the Eiffel Tower can grow up to 6 inches taller during hot weather. This isn't just symbolic, it's real physics. Buildings breathe as the seasons change. The world around us is alive in ways we barely notice. It also means the monuments we see as still and silent are actually in constant motion, however slight. Fact 10. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. While dolphins typically hold their breath for 10-15 minutes, sloths can slow their heart rate and stay underwater for up to 40 minutes. They're not just slow, they're incredibly efficient. It's a reminder that evolution works in all kinds of unexpected ways. In nature, speed isn't everything. Sometimes the slowest survive longest. Final thoughts. We like to think we understand the world around us. But when you start peeling back the layers, reality gets weird, in the best possible way. From the way time bends to the stardust in our cells, the world is far stranger and more wonderful than it first appears. So, which of these facts completely changed how you see the world? Let us know in the comments, and hit that follow button for more facts that challenge your perspective. Wait, these discoveries weren't made in the 1800s. They happened just months ago. And they're so shocking, they could change everything we thought we knew about ancient history. From mysterious structures buried beneath sacred hills to ancient Egyptian tombs that rewrite timelines, archaeologists around the world are uncovering secrets that defy conventional logic. And the best part? These discoveries are all fresh, reported in just the last year. Let's explore 10 real ancient findings that will blow your mind and might just rewrite history books. Fact 1. The 3-year-old and the 3,800-year-old amulet. In early 2025, a 3-year-old girl named Ziv Nitzan was playing during a family trip to Tel Azika in Israel when she picked up what looked like a simple rock. But it wasn't. Experts later confirmed it was a 3,800-year-old scarab amulet, dating back to the Middle Bronze Age. Scarabs were used in ancient Egypt and surrounding regions as both seals and spiritual protection. This particular one is Canaanite, reflecting Egypt's deep influence in the region. And here's the kicker. This artifact wasn't found by a team of experts, but by a toddler. It's a powerful reminder that even the smallest moments can uncover ancient secrets. And it shows how widespread and embedded Egyptian influence was in local cultures far beyond the Nile. Fact 2. Giant dinosaur footprints in Scotland. In Scotland, on the Isle of Skye, scientists uncovered over 130 dinosaur footprints, frozen in stone for 167 million years. But these weren't just random tracks. They included massive pteropods the size of a car, ancestors of the T-Rex, and huge herbivorous sauropods. It's one of the most significant Middle Jurassic discoveries ever found in Europe. Even more fascinating, the footprints offer a rare glimpse into how different dinosaur species moved and coexisted side by side. It's like a prehistoric snapshot frozen in time. Thanks to advanced imaging, researchers can now model exactly how these creatures walked and interacted. Fact 3. Mystery Pharaoh tomb discovered in Abydos. In Egypt's ancient city of Abydos, a massive royal tomb was discovered, but no one knows who it belonged to. Dating back over 3,000 years, the tomb was hidden in the necropolis of Anubis. It's built with mud brick vaults, hidden chambers, and walls inscribed with yet-to-be-decoded hieroglyphs. Experts say it could belong to one of Egypt's earliest and least-known pharaohs. The artifacts inside could reveal unknown chapters of Egyptian history. This tomb might be the missing link between known dynasties and lost rulers. Its layout even differs from other tombs in the region, suggesting a possible ceremonial or experimental purpose. Fact 4. The circular mystery structure in Crete. On Papura Hill in Crete, archaeologists found something that stunned even the experts. A massive circular architectural complex dating back to 2000 to 1700 BCE. It consists of multiple concentric rings made of stone, forming a pattern unlike anything else from Minoan civilization. Was it a temple, a fortress, a ceremonial site? Nobody knows for sure. What's clear is that this structure breaks the mold of how we imagined early Mediterranean architecture. Some even believe it could represent a calendar or a form of ancient computation. Others think it may have aligned with astronomical cycles or solstice events. Fact 5. A 4,000-year-old temple with strange creatures. In La Otra Banda, Peru, archaeologists recently uncovered a 4,000-year-old temple and an ancient amphitheater, one of the oldest ever found in the Americas. Inside the temple walls, strange art depicting human-bird-reptile hybrids drawn with claws, wings, and feathers. Experts believe the site played a central role in the rise of early Andean religion. The hybrid creatures may have symbolized mythical transformations or divine beings. Could these murals depict legends passed down from an even older, forgotten culture? The complexity of the artwork suggests a civilization with strong religious and symbolic systems. Fact 6. The oldest deep-sea shipwreck ever found. In June 2024, a team exploring the Mediterranean Sea discovered an ancient Canaanite shipwreck, dating from the late Bronze Age, over 3,300 years old. Located about 90 kilometers off Israel's coast, this is now the oldest deep-sea shipwreck ever found. It carried cargo jars, tools, and artifacts that revealed just how advanced ancient navigation was. This discovery proves that ancient sailors navigated deep waters, not just hugged the coast. It challenges the idea that early seafaring was primitive or local. Maritime trade routes may have been more extensive and profitable than previously imagined. Fact 7. Winged figure seal found in Jerusalem. A 2,700-year-old seal was uncovered in Jerusalem in 2024, dating back to the time of the First Temple. The seal features a mysterious winged human figure and an inscription in Paleo-Hebrew. Some scholars link the design to Assyrian or even Mesopotamian influences. Could this be an image of a divine protector or just artistic symbolism? We still don't know. Its discovery suggests cross-cultural connections far deeper than previously assumed. It could indicate shared religious beliefs or even political alliances across ancient empires. Fact 8. Prehistoric hunting kit in a Texas cave. Deep in a Texas cave, archaeologists found a hunting kit from over 6,500 years ago. It included a boomerang, hide pouch, and ancient projectile tools. This discovery gives us rare insight into the tools and techniques used by early indigenous people in North America. It shows how they adapted to a harsh, changing environment. It paints a vivid picture of innovation long before modern technologies existed. These tools show a high level of craftsmanship and survival intelligence. Fact 9. A fossil older than dinosaurs, with organs intact. In early 2025, scientists in South Africa uncovered a 444 million-year-old fossil, Kerbos susani, older than the dinosaurs. And this wasn't just bones. The fossil preserved muscles, tendons, even intestines, making it one of the best-preserved soft-tissue fossils ever found. It gives us a window into life on Earth hundreds of millions of years ago. Findings like this help rewrite evolutionary timelines. It proves that soft tissue preservation is possible over immense geological periods under the right conditions. Fact 10. Another mystery pharaoh's tomb in Egypt. Yeah, another one. Also uncovered in Abydos, Egypt, this tomb is believed to belong to one of Egypt's earliest and most enigmatic rulers. The structure includes vaulted chambers, undeciphered hieroglyphs, and unusual burial arrangements that could rewrite what we know about early dynastic Egypt. Each artifact could hold clues to an entire chapter of history we've never seen before. Some archaeologists speculate that this pharaoh might have ruled during a transitional period, possibly between the Old and Middle Kingdoms. These aren't just pieces of stone and clay. They're clues, hidden in plain sight, waiting to change how we understand our past. Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments and follow Curiosity AI. Top 10. Fascinating facts about ancient civilizations. Ancient civilizations weren't just the beginning of history. They were entire worlds of knowledge, mystery, and genius. From architecture that defies logic to scientific achievements we still don't fully understand, these ancient cultures were far more advanced than we often give them credit for. So today, let's dive into 10 fascinating facts about ancient civilizations that continue to baffle, inspire, and amaze us. Fact 1. The Great Pyramids of Giza align almost perfectly with the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. Not only that, but the largest pyramid is aligned with astonishing accuracy to true north, just 3/60th of a degree off. And this was achieved over 4,500 years ago, without GPS, lasers, or even a compass. How the Egyptians managed such precision is still debated today. Fact 2. The ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro had a sewage system more advanced than some places today. Dating back to 2500 BCE in the Indus Valley, this city had drainage, public baths, and even individual toilets connected to a centralized sanitation system. That's right. While much of the ancient world struggled with basic hygiene, Mohenjo-Daro had indoor plumbing. Fact 3. The Babylonians invented an early form of calculus. These ancient Mesopotamian mathematicians used base 60 numbering and could calculate astronomical positions with surprising precision. A clay tablet known as Plimpton 322 shows trigonometric tables that predate the Greeks by over 1,000 years. It raises the question, how much of modern math is actually rooted in Mesopotamia? Fact 4. The Nazca lines in Peru can only be fully seen from the sky. These massive geoglyphs, shapes of animals, plants, and geometric designs, were etched into the desert floor over 1,500 years ago. But the strange part? They're nearly impossible to recognize from the ground. Were they for gods in the sky? Ritual pathways? Or something else entirely? We still don't know for sure. Fact 5. Ancient Chinese seismographs could detect earthquakes hundreds of miles away. Invented in 132 CE by Zhang Heng, this bronze device used pendulums and dragon-shaped mechanisms to detect seismic activity. It was so sensitive that it recorded quakes invisible to people nearby, a technology we didn't replicate until modern times. Fact 6. The Library of Alexandria once held over 400,000 scrolls. This legendary center of knowledge may have been the greatest library of the ancient world. It aimed to collect every written work in existence, drawing scholars from across continents. Much of its knowledge was lost in a series of fires, and some believe we'd be centuries ahead today if it had survived. Fact 7. The Mayans could predict solar eclipses with pinpoint accuracy. Despite lacking telescopes, the Maya developed detailed calendars that tracked celestial events over centuries. They understood the solar year better than many Europeans did 1,000 years later. Their calculations were so precise, even NASA has studied them. Fact 8. Ancient Greeks built an analog computer, the Antikythera mechanism. Discovered in a shipwreck, this 2,000-year-old device could model the movements of the planets and moon. It had gears, dials, and a complexity not seen again until the 18th century. It completely rewrote what we thought we knew about ancient Greek technology. Fact 9. The Olmecs created colossal stone heads, each weighing over 20 tons. These pre-Mayan sculptures, carved from single basalt boulders, were transported across vast distances without wheels or metal tools. How they moved them is still a mystery. Were they portraits of rulers, deities? No one knows for sure. Fact 10. Ancient civilizations mapped the stars with breathtaking accuracy. From the Sumerians to the Aboriginal Australians, early cultures had a profound understanding of astronomy. Some stone monuments, like Stonehenge or Egypt's Temple of Hathor, align with solstices, star risings, or planetary cycles. Long before modern science, they were tracking the cosmos with incredible precision. Final thoughts. Ancient civilizations weren't primitive. They were brilliant, resourceful, and deeply connected to the world around them. From mathematics to medicine, from architecture to the stars, they left behind clues that continue to astonish us. So the next time you look at a monument, a symbol, or even the night sky, remember, the past is full of genius we're only beginning to rediscover. Which of these ancient facts amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more incredible knowledge every single week. Switzerland might be known for its chocolate, watches, and stunning mountains, but beneath that postcard-perfect image lies a country full of strange, surprising, and downright fascinating facts. Today, we're diving into 10 things you didn't know about Switzerland, from secret bunkers to oddball laws and mind-blowing inventions. Let's start with something that sounds like a spy movie plot. Fact 1. Switzerland has enough bunkers to fit its entire population. Yes, really. In the Cold War era, Switzerland took neutrality and defense so seriously that they built underground bunkers across the country, enough to shelter the entire population. These aren't just dusty basements either. Some are full-on underground cities with ventilation systems, sleeping quarters, hospitals, and food storage. By law, every Swiss home built after the 1960s must have access to a nuclear shelter. And even today, many of these bunkers remain operational, just in case. Fact 2, there's an entire village inside a mountain. Deep beneath the Swiss Alps lies a massive underground fortress called Sasso San Gottardo. Originally a secret military base designed to defend the Gotthard Pass during World War II, it was carved inside the mountain, complete with tunnels, command centers, artillery bunkers, and power stations. Today, it's open to the public as a museum, but walking through it feels like stepping into a Bond villain's hideout. Fact 3. The Swiss have a direct democracy and vote more than almost any other country. Switzerland holds referendums on everything, from taxes to immigration, healthcare to animal rights. If enough people sign a petition, the issue goes to a national vote. Swiss citizens vote on average 3 to 4 times a year. They've even voted on whether to ban PowerPoint presentations in offices. Spoiler, it didn't pass, but still. It's a system built on maximum citizen involvement, and it works surprisingly well. Fact 4, you can't own just one guinea pig. Switzerland has some of the strictest animal welfare laws in the world. One law states that social animals, like guinea pigs, must be kept in pairs so they don't get lonely. In fact, there are even services that help you find a guinea pig companion if one dies. And that's just the beginning. It's illegal to boil lobsters alive, and flushing goldfish down the toilet is considered animal abuse. Fact 5. The Swiss eat more chocolate per person than anyone on Earth. The average Swiss person consumes about 10 kilograms of chocolate each year. That's over 22 pounds per person. With brands like Lindt, Toblerone, and Nestlé originating here, it's no wonder. And many factories have public tours where you can sample the goods. Warning, you will leave in a sugar coma. Fact 6. Switzerland has no president, at least not the way you think. Instead of a single head of state, Switzerland has a federal council of 7 people who share power equally. Each year, one of them is chosen as the president, but only for ceremonial duties. It's one of the most decentralized governments in the world. Power to the people. In Switzerland, it's literal. Fact 7. There's a law that makes it illegal to hang clothes out to dry on Sundays. In some Swiss cantons, there are still old quiet day laws in place that restrict noisy activities on Sundays. These include mowing the lawn, banging nails, or yes, even hanging laundry outside. It's part of a cultural tradition of keeping Sundays peaceful. The result? Swiss neighborhoods on Sundays feel like time has paused. Quiet, clean, and oddly calming. Fact 8. Switzerland is home to the world's longest tunnel. The Gotthard Base Tunnel stretches an incredible 57 kilometers, about 35 miles, making it the longest railway tunnel on Earth. It cuts through the Alps, connecting northern and southern Switzerland with speed and efficiency. The project took over 17 years to build and cost more than $12 billion. When it opened in 2016, the launch ceremony included dancers dressed as goats and construction workers flying through the air. It was unforgettable. Fact 9. Switzerland is one of the only countries with a square national flag. Unlike most national flags, which are rectangular, Switzerland's is a perfect square, red with a white cross. There's only one other country with a square flag, Vatican City. Why? Historical tradition and military symbolism. Bonus trivia. The Red Cross emblem is actually the Swiss flag reversed, as a nod to the organization's Swiss founder, Henry Dunant. Fact 10. There's a bridge for frogs in Zurich. During springtime, thousands of frogs and toads migrate across roads to reach breeding ponds, and many were being squished by cars. So Zurich built special amphibian tunnels and even tiny bridges to help them cross safely. Every year, volunteers also help carry frogs across the road during migration season. It's a small gesture, but very Swiss. From frog bridges and guinea pig rights to underground fortresses and edible obsession with chocolate, Switzerland is a country of contrasts, blending futuristic infrastructure with centuries-old traditions. It's a place where efficiency meets eccentricity, and where even the laws seem charmingly bizarre. So next time you think of Switzerland, go beyond the cliches. There's a whole other world hiding beneath the snow-capped peaks. If you enjoyed this episode of Country Curiosities, hit the like button, subscribe to Curiosity AI, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next mind-blowing destination. What's the weirdest or coolest thing you just learned about Switzerland? Tell us in the comments. And if you're from Switzerland, did we miss anything wild about your homeland? Let us know below, and see you in the next episode. Science fiction used to be just that, fiction. But today, scientists are doing things so unbelievable they sound like they were ripped straight out of a sci-fi novel. From brains grown in labs to levitating objects and invisible lasers, these discoveries aren't just possible. They're already happening. Let's dive into 10 real scientific breakthroughs that prove the future is now. Fact 1. The liquid that thinks like a brain. In 2023, researchers developed a synthetic liquid that mimics the behavior of a human brain. It can store information, respond to stimuli, and even learn patterns over time. This liquid doesn't have neurons or a nervous system, but it shows behavior similar to learning and forgetting, using chemical reactions alone. It's like a thinking slime, and it might one day be used in smart materials, adaptive machines, or even artificial life. Imagine clothing that adjusts to your mood, buildings that react to environmental stress, or devices that evolve without chips or code. Science fiction? More like science happening. Fact 2. Earth's core may be an actual crystal. Beneath your feet lies a mystery. Scientists believe Earth's inner core isn't just hot molten metal. It might actually be a massive, solid iron crystal. This idea came from the way seismic waves bounce through the planet. The waves behave as if they're traveling through a crystalline structure. That means the center of the Earth could be a perfect, slowly growing iron crystal, bigger than the moon. This could help explain strange fluctuations in Earth's magnetic field and even affect our timekeeping systems. It's like something from the core of an alien planet, except it's under your shoes. Fact 3. A real anti-laser that absorbs light. You've heard of lasers that emit beams of light, but in 2011 scientists created the opposite, a coherent, perfect absorber, also known as an anti-laser. Instead of emitting energy, it sucks in incoming laser beams and turns them into heat. It's like a light vacuum that cancels photons. This could revolutionize computing, cloaking devices, or even invisibility tech. Imagine a chip that eliminates signal interference or materials that become perfectly black by absorbing all light. It's not just the future of lasers. It's the science of cancellation. Fact 4. The sound that can levitate objects. Sound is just vibration, right? But scientists discovered that if you arrange sound waves just right, using ultrasonic frequencies, they can actually levitate small objects. The sound creates pressure points in the air that suspend particles, droplets, or even insects. This acoustic levitation has real uses, like moving dangerous substances without touching them or assembling fragile biological material in space. It could lead to zero-contact surgery or fully automated manufacturing systems powered by sound. You can't see the sound, but you can see what it lifts. Fact 5. A lab-grown brain played a video game. In a shocking experiment, researchers grew brain cells in a petri dish and connected them to a computer simulation of Pong. Within minutes, the neurons began to learn how to respond to the virtual paddle and ball, adjusting their firing patterns to play the game. This mini brain, called dish brain, had no eyes, no muscles, no thoughts. Just pure cellular activity. Learning. It's the closest we've come to growing intelligence in a dish. And it raises big questions about consciousness, learning, and the boundary between organic and machine intelligence. Fact 6. DNA that stores digital data. Forget hard drives. The future of data storage might be DNA. Scientists have encoded books, photos, and even movies into strands of synthetic DNA. Why? Because DNA is incredibly dense and stable. A single gram can hold over 200 petabytes of data. This means one shoebox of DNA could store all the world's information and last for thousands of years. It's not just cool, it's potentially the solution to the world's data crisis. And researchers are now working on DNA hard drives that can be written and read with special molecular machines. One day, we might carry all human knowledge in a capsule the size of a sugar cube. And maybe future civilizations will read our data by sequencing molecules, not booting up computers. Fact 7. The brain-to-brain communication experiment. What if you could send a thought directly to someone else's brain? In a real experiment, scientists used EEGs and transcranial stimulation to let one person think a word and another person in a different building receive it without hearing, speaking, or seeing. The result? A form of direct brain-to-brain communication. Early, crude, but real. It's telepathy, minus the magic. And now, some researchers are working on combining this with AI to improve human-machine interfacing, potentially allowing us to think commands to smart devices. One day, you might scroll your phone, open your email, or drive your car using only your thoughts. Fact 8. Photosynthesis without sunlight. Photosynthesis usually needs sunlight, right? Not anymore. Researchers developed a synthetic photosynthesis system that can feed plants and bacteria using electricity instead of light. They pump in CO2, water, and power, and get out oxygen and sugars. It could be a game changer for food production in places with no sunlight, like underground, deep space, or disaster zones. In the future, entire vertical farms may run entirely on artificial photosynthesis. We might one day grow crops on Mars, not under the sun, but under fluorescent tubes. Fact 9. The artificial womb that grew a lamb. Scientists in Japan created an artificial womb, a transparent plastic bag filled with fluid, and successfully kept a premature lamb alive in it for weeks. The lamb's heart kept beating, its lungs developed, it grew hair. It was a fully external womb, and it worked. While we're still far from doing this with humans, it opens the door to saving premature babies, or completely rethinking reproduction. And some researchers envision a future where full-term development happens entirely outside the human body. That might seem distant now, but it could become reality in a few decades. Fact 10. A metal that heals itself. In 2023, scientists observed something incredible, a piece of metal that healed itself after being cracked. They were stretching a tiny piece of platinum when it fractured. And then, to their shock, the crack sealed itself up all on its own. This was the first time self-healing was seen in metal without any external intervention. If scaled up, it could revolutionize engineering, planes, bridges, or machines that repair themselves. Imagine aircraft wings that close cracks mid-flight, or skyscrapers that sense and mend structural damage. Nature isn't the only thing that can regenerate. Now, metal can too. Final thoughts. The world is changing faster than we realize. From brains in petri dishes to DNA memory and anti-lasers, science is bending reality in ways we once thought impossible. And these aren't just headlines. They're real, tested, and active right now. These discoveries don't just sound like sci-fi. They're here, and they're just the beginning. The future might be weirder than fiction. and a lot closer than we think. So if you love exploring the edge where science meets the impossible, make sure you're subscribed, because the future is already happening, and we're just getting started. Nature is beautiful, wild, and full of surprises, but sometimes it does things that leave even scientists speechless. From rivers that defy gravity to animals that live without brains, these are the moments when Mother Nature throws out the rulebook and breaks all scientific logic. Let's dive into 10 real cases where nature made science say, wait, what? Fact 1. The sea that disappears and reappears. In the Bay of Fundy between Canada and the US, the tides can rise and fall by over 16 meters, taller than a 5-story building. Every day, the sea retreats so far that boats rest on dry seabed, only to float again hours later. The bay's unique shape funnels tidal energy into a narrow space, amplifying the effect. It's so intense that people actually surf the incoming tide, called a tidal bore. It's a daily vanishing act performed by the ocean. What's even more mind-bending? The tides generate so much power that scientists are exploring ways to harvest it as a clean energy source. Fact 2. A plant that can count. The Venus flytrap isn't just a cool carnivorous plant, it's also a surprisingly smart one. To avoid false triggers from raindrops or debris, the plant doesn't close on the first touch. It waits for a second touch within 20 seconds. Only then does it snap shut. Even more bizarre, it can count how many times its hairs are triggered, adjusting how tightly it seals and how much digestive enzyme it releases. Some researchers believe it even has a primitive form of short-term memory, making it one of the most bizarre examples of plant intelligence ever recorded. It's like a little green trap with a built-in calculator. Fact 3. The fish that changes gender, and back again. Meet the clownfish. Yes, like Nemo, but in real life, these fish don't stick to one gender. All clownfish are born male. In a group, the dominant male can transform into a female, fully changing sex. If the female dies, the next male in line steps up and changes gender too. It's nature's version of role rotation. This ability to switch genders depending on social structure isn't unique to clownfish. Wrasses, gobies, and parrotfish do it too. For some species, it's essential for survival. Nature doesn't care about rules, it cares about balance. Fact 4. Rocks that move by themselves. In Death Valley, California, stones weighing hundreds of pounds seem to move across the dry lake bed, leaving long trails behind them. No one saw them move for decades. Some believed it was supernatural. Eventually, scientists discovered the rocks move due to a rare combination of rain, ice, and wind, forming thin sheets that allow them to slowly glide. Still, it's haunting to see the paths of heavy stones that slid silently through the night. Time-lapse photography finally captured the eerie motion, proving once and for all that nature moves at its own pace. Fact 5. A lake that turns animals into stone. Lake Natron in Tanzania is so alkaline that it can literally mummify animals. The water's high pH, caused by volcanic ash, burns the skin and eyes of animals that fall in. But instead of decomposing, their bodies are preserved in eerie, stone-like forms. Photographer Nick Brandt captured images of these perfectly preserved animals, looking like statues, frozen mid-flight, or curled in death. Researchers have studied the mineral content of the lake and believe it mirrors ancient bodies of water where some of Earth's earliest life forms evolved. It's like looking into a time capsule and a graveyard all at once. Fact 6. The zombie fungus that controls ants. In the rainforest, there's a fungus called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, and it's straight out of a horror movie. It infects ants, takes control of their nervous system, and forces them to climb to a high place. Then it kills them and grows a stalk out of their heads to release more spores. It's terrifying, real, and one of the most extreme examples of a parasite taking over a host. Incredibly, the fungus targets a specific species of ant. It won't infect others. Scientists still don't fully understand how it finds and manipulates its victim. Nature isn't just weird, it can be precise and ruthless. Fact 7. Blood rain. Imagine red rain falling from the sky. In Kerala, India, that actually happened in 2001. People saw red-colored rain falling for days, and no one knew why. Some believed it was a bad omen. Others thought it was extraterrestrial. Scientists eventually discovered the cause: spores from a type of algae suspended in the atmosphere. But even with the explanation, it felt like a biblical event. What's more, similar events have been recorded throughout history, including in ancient Rome and 17th century Europe. Blood rain is rare, but not unheard of. Fact 8. Trees that clone themselves for thousands of years. There's a forest in Utah called Pando. It looks like a regular grove of aspen trees, but it's actually one single organism. All 40,000 trees are genetically identical and connected by one root system, and it's been growing for over 80,000 years. It clones itself, regenerates fallen trees, and behaves like a living superorganism. Pando is considered one of the oldest and largest living things on Earth, and we almost didn't know it existed. Even more fascinating, scientists worry it may be dying due to human activity and lack of natural predators to control grazing deer. A living miracle, now in need of protection. Fact 9. The volcano that creates its own weather. When volcanoes erupt with enough power, they can create their own lightning storms. The intense heat and ash particles create static electricity in the air. And boom, lightning starts flashing inside the ash cloud. It's beautiful, terrifying, and still not fully understood. One of the most famous examples was the eruption of Eyjafjallajökull in Iceland in 2010, where people captured photos of lightning arcing through volcanic smoke like the wrath of the gods. Some eruptions have even generated whirlwinds and tornadoes, nature's own version of atmospheric chaos. Fact 10. Animals that don't need oxygen. In 2020, scientists discovered a creature that doesn't breathe at all. The parasite Henneguia salminicola, which infects salmon, has no mitochondrial genome, meaning it doesn't use oxygen to generate energy. It survives entirely through anaerobic processes. For years, we believed all multicellular life needed oxygen. This discovery shattered that assumption. It was like science suddenly got a plot twist. Some scientists now believe there may be more oxygen-free life hidden deep underground, or even beneath the oceans of Europa or Enceladus, moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Nature isn't just beautiful. It's bizarre, brilliant, and totally unpredictable. From zombie fungi and living fossils to lakes of stone and trees older than civilization, the natural world constantly challenges what we think we know. And for every answer science finds, nature throws back 100 new mysteries. If this blew your mind, hit that subscribe button and stick around. Because here at Curiosity AI, we explore the strange, the true, and the totally unbelievable. See you in the next one. Some crimes are terrifying, others are tragic, but some are so bizarre, so surreal, that they sound like something out of a twisted novel, not real life. Yet every single case you're about to hear is 100% true. Let's dive into 7 real-life crimes that are so strange they've left investigators and the public speechless. The Watcher, a house with eyes. In 2014, a family moved into their dream home in Westfield, New Jersey. Just days later, they received an anonymous letter. The writer called themselves the Watcher. The letter welcomed them to the neighborhood and warned that the house had been watched for generations. The Watcher claimed to know the layout of the home, the names of the children, and asked if the family had filled the house with young blood. More letters followed, increasingly threatening. The Watcher said they were in charge of watching the home, and hinted they would never stop. Despite investigations, surveillance, and DNA testing, the Watcher was never caught. To this day, no one knows who wrote those letters, or what they truly wanted. Netflix made a show about it. But the real story? Still unsolved. The Silent Twins, a pact between sisters. June and Jennifer Gibbons were twins born in Wales in 1963. From early childhood, they refused to speak to anyone but each other, communicating in a secret language no one else understood. They were inseparable, obsessively so. As teenagers, they began writing dark fiction and committing petty crimes together, eventually landing in a psychiatric hospital. Psychologists struggled to understand their eerie bond. One of them reportedly said, "They live in a world of their own." Then something even stranger happened. Jennifer suddenly died. No trauma, no poisoning, no clear cause. After her death, June began speaking normally. She said Jennifer had agreed to die so that she could live a normal life. The autopsy showed sudden, unexplained heart inflammation. No explanation was ever found. Was it psychosomatic? A suicide pact? Or something stranger? Issei Sagawa, the killer who became famous. In 1981, Issei Sagawa, a Japanese student studying in Paris, murdered and cannibalized his classmate René Hartevelt. He was arrested, but declared legally insane and deported to Japan. There, the Japanese authorities found they had no legal grounds to hold him. So they released him. Yes, a confessed murderer and cannibal walked free. But it gets worse. Sagawa became a celebrity. He wrote books, gave interviews, and even appeared in magazines. Incredibly, he profited from his crime, gaining cult status in Japan. He lived openly for decades, and despite public outrage, the law never caught up with him. He died in 2022, never having served a single day in prison. Elisa Lam, the elevator mystery. The footage is haunting. In 2013, security cameras at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles captured a young woman named Elisa Lam acting strangely in an elevator. She presses multiple buttons, peeks out into the hallway, hides in the corner. It's unsettling. A few days later, her body was found in the hotel's water tank, on the roof, accessible only through a locked door and an alarmed hatch. The hotel guests had been drinking and showering with water from the tank for days. Police ruled it an accidental drowning, but many questions remain unanswered. Why was she acting so erratically? How did she access the tank? Why wasn't the alarm triggered? Some suspect foul play, others suggest mental illness. But no theory fully explains what happened in that elevator or on that roof. The Tamam Shud case, a spy or a ghost? In 1948, a man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Australia. No ID, no missing persons match, just a well-dressed body with no signs of violence. Inside his pocket was a tiny scrap of paper with the words Tamam Shud, Persian for "it is finished." Later, police found a hidden copy of a rare book in a nearby car. Inside were handwritten codes and a phone number. The book had been surgically removed of its back cover, the part where Tamam Shud was torn from. The man's identity? Unknown for decades. Only in 2022, through genetic genealogy, was he identified as Carl Webb, a little-known engineer and instrument maker. But how he died, why he had a coded book, and whether he was part of a spy network, remains a mystery. The disappearance of D.B. Cooper. In 1971, a man using the alias D.B. Cooper hijacked a commercial airplane, extorted $200,000, and parachuted out into the night, never to be seen again. No body, no confirmed identity, just a few clues, a tie, some fingerprints, and a bundle of cash found years later near a riverbank. Dozens of theories emerged. Was he a former military paratrooper, a disgruntled businessman? Or did he not survive the jump at all? Despite one of the longest and most expensive investigations in FBI history, the case was closed in 2016, still unsolved. To this day, D.B. Cooper is the only person in U.S. history to successfully hijack a plane and vanish without a trace. The Dyatlov Pass incident. Something no one can explain. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers died mysteriously in the Ural Mountains of Russia. Their tent was found ripped open from the inside. Some of the bodies were discovered half-naked in freezing temperatures. Others had massive internal injuries, like broken ribs and crushed skulls, but no external wounds. One victim's tongue was missing. Another had radioactivity on his clothes. The Soviet investigation ruled it a compelling natural force, then quickly closed the case. For decades, theories ranged from avalanches to military experiments to paranormal events. Even with modern forensics, no single explanation accounts for all the evidence. It remains one of the most chilling mysteries in modern history. These aren't ghost stories. They're not urban legends. They're real, documented, reported, and in some cases, still unsolved. Whether it's a letter from a stalker who's never been caught, twins who shared one life, or a hijacker who disappeared into legend. These stories remind us that real life is often stranger and more disturbing than fiction. If this video gave you chills, hit that subscribe button for more strange, unsolved, and true crime cases from around the world. And tell us in the comments which case freaked you out the most. We're just getting started. Nature follows laws. Gravity, biology, chemistry, everything seems to operate within predictable